All right, welcome back. And as I mentioned before in my Shaman video, this is my favorite class of Rustakan's Rumble, and that is the Warlock. And the reason is that most of Warlock's stuff, and I talked about it in the opening overview of everything, most of Warlock's stuff synergizes with itself. Like all these cards, except Shriek, Shriek and Soul Warden are kind of like the Void contract. Shriek and Soul Warden and Void contract aside, the rest of these cards benefit from the same thing, which is a wide board spread. Blood Troll Sapper, you need minions on the board. Demon Bolt, cheaper with minions on the board. Grim Rally, better with minions on the board. Reckless Dire Troll, Taunts Protect, minions on the board. Spirit of Bat, you need minions on the board to be able to trigger it. So having this consistent effect, like there's a very clear way to draft Warlock because they get all these cards that benefit from having minions on the board. And where they also get something is in particular in Reckless Dire Troll here and Shriek, they get the discard your lowest cost card. This has an impact, I would say a heavy impact on Warlock drafting. The reason being is that like when you get bad picks, like if we go over here to the bucket list and we can see like a lot of bad picks. Murloc Raider, 1-drop. Wax Elemental, 1-drop. Goldstar Footman, 1-drop. 2-drop. Let me see here. 1-drop, 1-drop. You go down the line. So there are a good number of cards that are like 1-mana cards, like Swamp Egg, 1-drop. Tiller, 1-drop. That are here because they don't do anything. And now they actually do something. They're discard filler. They're discard fodder. So if you have a Shriek and you have a Goldshire Footman, that Goldshire Footman is preventing your big powerful card from getting discarded. If you have a Reckless Dire Troll and you have, for example, a Stone Tusk Boar, that Stone Tusk Boar prevents your 4-drop from getting discarded. And so I think that this is going to change how you draft, because if you get your Dire Trolls and if you get your Shrieks, then you're going to want to draft, like when you get those crap buckets, you can turn them from crap into crap salad, which is still crap, but it's better crap. It's good crap. All right. So let's just go on to the cards quickly. So Blood Troll Sapper. 13 stats for 7 mana. That's below average. Very, very, very powerful effect here. So if you could trade this off with like 5 minions, then that's 10 damage faced. That's a 7 mana Pyroblast that puts 5/8 on the board, and that's real strong. If you hit even 2 minions, and I think it's average, and you're easily going to hit 2 minions. My rule of thumb is 3 minions. So if you hit 2 minions with this, I think it's above average, and you can easily hit a lot more. Plus, it's a body that kind of does something. So I think overall, this is a good card. It's a little bit understated. It's a little bit dependent upon your board. But I definitely think that's a card that you want to draft. So let me pull this up here. And I would put it here, bottom of the 4th bucket, where you can see there's some cards that don't belong here. That belongs over there. That belongs over there. That belongs over there. But you can see it's like Shadowbolt, Tarlurker, Doomguard, kinda. Like those are good cards. These are decent cards. I think that's what this is. This is a good card or a decent card, especially if you're drafting all your cards with the spread. Demon Bolt. So 8 mana. Let's just say the absolute worst. 8 mana destroy a minion is not bad. If you're playing that on a 7-drop, that's still fine, just to have that. But it's often gonna be less than that. It's gonna be 7. Like I would say, on average, it's gonna be 5 mana. So is 5 mana? And that's an assassinate, right? So, and also Warlock does not have necessarily as many hard removals. You have Siphon Soul, and that's really it. So I think Demon Bolt is good. I think, honestly, like I know it averages 5 mana, but I would say this is definitely worse than Siphon Soul because like that little heal from Siphon Soul matters so much more than you would expect it to. It's one of those cards. If Siphon Soul came out today, I would say the heal doesn't matter, like probably, and then the heal would matter and would just win you so many games, that little extra reach to get out of your opponent's range. And I honestly think that healing makes it a lot better than Demon Bolt. I think, like as I said, I think it's going to average 5, but you can only really realistically expect 6 or 7. And so I don't, because of how the Warlock buckets are, and because like there's so many cards here that I would say are better, I would put it top of the third bucket. Like either top of the third, bottom of the second. I would say top of the third, probably where it belongs. All right. The other one, Reckless Dire Troll. So as I mentioned, discard your lowest cost card. You draft around that. One thing I'll get to more with Shriek is that Shriek is 1 mana. This discards your lowest cost card. There is a very good chance if you play Reckless Dire Troll that you are going to discard a Shriek. So that is one thing that goes against it. But anyways, I feel the discard effect is not really that impactful with this. Like this is not something where I'm penalizing the discard because you're discarding something cheap and something you can control. And anyway, you take a look at the stats, 2/6 stats. Compare that to a Tar Creeper. Tar Creeper, 3/5 on your opponent's turn, 1/5 on your turn. The 1/5 actually matters more than you think it would, especially for getting trades off. So having the extra health and the ability to make trades on your own makes me like this card. I don't think it's like premium, but I would also have it here in like with Shadow Bolt, not Shadow Bolt. Yeah, what's the card? Just Demon Bolt. Here, top of the third bucket. I think just like Hellfire, Dread Infernal, all these cards are a little more impactful. But this is going to be a good card. Okay, going to rares. Grim Rally. Again, I'm saying on average, you're going to have 3 minions on board. So destroy friendly minion, give your minions +1/+1. So on average, maybe +2/+2. That's okay, but you got to destroy a friendly minion. And you're not always going to have a 1/1 that you can sacrifice or an egg that you can sacrifice. Well, actually, thinking about it, the new set did introduce like a couple of eggs in the set. So like there's the treasure chest egg and there's the egg that spawns 1/1s. So there is a chance Grim Rally is actually better than I thought it was because the neutrals introduced so many like egg cards in the set. In any case, like the impact is powerful, but destroying one of your own minions is really not something you want to do. So ultimately, I have it here in the top of the 6th bucket. So like here, it could destroy Witchwood Imp. It could destroy the 1/1s from this. It's one of those cards where it's just its power. We know its power from things like Mark of the Lotus and Power of the Wild. And we know that destroying your own stuff is bad and sometimes not something you want to do. But I think so because I'm just saying top of the 6th bucket. I don't think it's going to be that great, but it does have a lot of power if you have the right deck, which you'll probably draft. Shriek. Shriek is AoE. You always take AoE. So is it better than the File? No. But still, 2 damage to all minions. It's a real powerful AoE. Can clear off the board. Maybe you can set up a Defile. Be careful though, because Defile's 2 mana, so Defile might be the card Shriek discards. So it's AoE. You always draft AoE. It's worse than Defile. Defile really should be in the top of the like either top or bottom of the 1st bucket. So I would say for Shriek, I would put it. Sorry. I would put it here top of the 2nd bucket. I think there's a couple other cards from here that should go over here. But I think, yeah, just incredibly powerful card. Spirit of the Bat. So let's compare this. The Cauldron, the Witch's Cauldron, is a 3 mana 0/4 that gives you a random spell after a friendly minion dies. A random shaman spell. Is +1/+1 to a minion in your hand better than a random shaman spell? Honestly, I don't think so. And we know Witch's Cauldron is, I would say, arguably worse than things like Cult Master or Necrotic Geist, even though it comes out a lot cheaper. So I think Spirit of the Bat, it falls into those cards. No, the one thing with Spirit of the Bat, if you don't have that many cards in hand, this actually gets a little better. Because like you can put something like a Tar Lurker as like your only minion in hand. Then you trade off 3 minions, and all three of those buffs are guaranteed to go into Tar Lurker. So this is better than something like the Paladin hand buff card, the Grime Street Outfitter, because that card was incredibly powerful in the early game, but became a lot less powerful in the late game because you didn't have the cards for it to hit. Here, you only need one card in your hand, and you still can get the full value from it. So ultimately, I'm not sold on this card because, like, you have to kill off your stuff, you have to anti-tempo, and then I don't think that's going to be all that great. I would put it. Sorry. I would. Where is it? I would end up putting it here, bottom of the 6th bucket. Again, I'm putting it in the same tier as, where's Cult Master? I know Cult Master. Now I put it here, same tier as Cult Master, same tier as Geist, same tier as the Cauldron. Where is Cauldron? Oh, okay, Witch's Cauldron is here, but if you look at HS Replay stats, it doesn't perform that well. It performs down here. I think it's just very similar to those, bottom of the 6th bucket. Take it if you have the deck for it. Okay. Epics. Void Contract. 8 mana, do nothing. 7th bucket. Bottom of the 7th bucket. Don't take it. Soul Warden. Add 3 random cards you discarded this game to your hand. Maybe a little less powerful than you think it would be, because with Dire Troll and Shriek, you're probably going to be getting weaker cards. But still, it's a 6 mana 6/6, and it puts stuff in your hand. That is really good. I think this is a possibly like if you, and also, hey, if you get 2 Soul Wardens, you can discard a Soul Warden and you can go infinite on Soul Wardens. So I think good card. I don't think it's as good as like all the 2nd bucket cards that do something earlier on in the game. Well, I don't think it's as good, but I think it's only a little bit worse. Like as I said, Dread Infernal should be up. Hellfire should be up. Defile definitely should be up. And I think bottom of the 2nd bucket is probably where it belongs. So instead of 6/6 deal 1 damage, 6/6 draw a few cheap cards. Pretty decent. Okay, legendaries. High Priest Jeklik. Because it's 4 mana, it's not going to be really a card that you discard with the Dire Troll or the Shriek. So you'll need other discard cards to get this to work, which means you're probably not going to get it to work. So ultimately, let's just say, let's ignore the discard part. Let's just take a look at the stats. 4 mana, 3/4 taunt, lifesteal. So Senjin Shieldmaster Tazdingo is a 4 mana, 3/5 taunt. Would you, in Warlock, pay 1 health to get lifesteal? I would. So I think this is at its worst, it's about even to Ascension Shieldmaster. And then I said, there's the moderate discard effect. So, like, if you're gonna give a card, give a number to it, I would say, like, we go here, Warlock, Senjin. Let me see here, Senjin Shieldmaster is like a 69, right? In Warlock. Which means that this card probably be like, Jeklik would probably be factoring in the discard, 70, 71, 72, around that. So top of the 2nd bucket, a 72. All right. And finally, Hirik the Bat. If you get Spirit of the Bat, then this card is insane. Like, you can get a Soul Infusion, you can get the Arena Fanatic, those will all buff it up. But yeah, ultimately, it's 8 mana fill the board. So you're gonna get like maybe 5, 6, maybe 7 1/1s. Like, that ain't good. I don't think in Constructed you're gonna reliably be able to get this on the board or get this buffed up so that it can be on the board. And really, you need to hit about, I would say 3 mana is like 2 buffs is about the point where this becomes like really strong. I would say at 2 2s, it's okay. That's good. It's okay to good. And you really need 3/3 for it. So ultimately, I am very low on this card. I just don't think you're going to get anything for it. I would say bottom of the 7th bucket easily. Probably like a 22. around this range here, or around the terrible range. All right, that's it for Warlock. I have one class left, Warrior. And Warrior got a bunch of crap, and then it got a couple cards that make up for all the crap that it got. So I will see you in the next video.